Hello and welcome. We are now discussing various properties. We looked at some of the thermodynamic properties, and we are also looking at the implementation of the MD framework, where we started with the understanding of second law of motion and the trajectory calculation with the computational solution, the time step, the cutoff radius, minimum image convention, the neighbor list, and periodic boundary conditions. We are also looking at the force calculation when we also fixed about fifth order predictor corrector algorithm, which is what we are using here to create the situation of looking at the computer program that is generating certain trajectories. So, if you look at once more the trajectories that are created, you are looking on your slide now MD simulation results. So, this is a typical Leonard Jones atom, and we look at some of the initial parameters, and so we have generated a trajectory of the equilibration. We went up to 100 time steps here, and if you go to the previous slide, you can see what is the time step, and time step is equal to 2.15 10 to the power minus 12 second, and that's the unit, and then the step is 10 to the power minus 14. So, with that understanding, once the system gets into equilibrium, then we also look at the molecular dynamics simulation output. So, now if you look at the output column, have time, pressure, instantaneous pressure, energy, instantaneous energy, distance, mean square displacement. We are looking at the temperature and neighbor list and E total. So, we are now looking at this particular table on your slide, where you can see about 140 time steps here, and you can see how the temperature, pressure, energy, mean square displacement, temperature, etc. is growing. So, now we looked at the property calculation from the time average perspective, and we looked at structural properties, thermodynamic properties, mechanical properties, and now we are getting into dynamic property, which are essentially mean square displacement, which we looked at, and also now vibrational properties. And that is where we start with the discussion of what is called velocity autocorrelation function. Correlation functions are essentially when there are two variables, and if they are behaving together, if they are related to each other, then you will see certain kind of correlation, and if there is no correlation, then correlation coefficient will be 0. So, we are looking for either positive correlation or even negative correlation functions, but we are looking at some of the quantities when one varies, another quantity also varies with it and adds certain effects to it. So, that correlation function we can also look at in terms of the particles and their velocity. So, if particles start at 0 velocity and then it is moving around, displacing around their central positions, let us say it is a crystalline solid, then you will see certain velocity autocorrelation. So, what we mean by autocorrelation is the correlation of particle velocities with its own original velocity or velocity at time t is equal to 0. So, we are looking at how is velocity evolving and how is it correlated by itself for each particle, and then we are doing time average of all these properties. So, if you look at simple definition of time averages is, if you look at a property A with the brackets, that is essentially an average time average property. So, limit time goes to infinite, we are looking at 1 over time steps, and we are looking at any arbitrary property A t, and we are looking at A t dash at any one of these time steps. So, if you look at in discrete way, we are looking at integral way, which is the continuous function, but if you look at time discrete function, then it becomes 1 over n t over the summation sign, and that is where A t k all these time steps which you have. Now, if you have two different properties and there are correlation between A and B, then you can also create time correlation between 1 and 2. But the time correlation functions are very important, because they talk about evolution of the system and what does that lead to in terms of different kinds of dynamic property. So, if you look at in that sense, we are now looking into dynamic properties, and one of the properties that we looked at was mean square displacement. So, let us go back to mean square displacement, that is nothing but displacement of the particle in terms of time. So, now if you look at this from the original position if the displacement, as you see on your slide now, is that a continuously linear variation with time, that essentially shows that it's a liquid state. And if you look at the crystal state, then it is oscillating around a central value, and that's how you can find out what is the time differential between the two properties. So, if you look at here, these time correlation functions are highly important, because we are now looking at velocity autocorrelation function. And velocity autocorrelation function, as we said, and the define is V0 and Vt at any time t, and we are looking at the correlation over the time steps, and now we are going to average over time step. So, if you look at in velocity autocorrelation function, we are looking at averaging, as you see on your slide, V0 and Vt 1 over n. You are looking at summation from I to n particles, and another summation I 1 over n I again over k from 1 to n I. So, now we are looking at any time step k and initial time step t. So, we are looking at time averaging from V0 to Vt, and that becomes a time correlation function. So, if you look at for time correlation function of velocity, gives us velocity autocorrelation function that gives us information about atomic motion of a particle in the system. Since it is a correlation of particle velocities at one time with the velocity of the same particle another time, formation refers to how a particle moves in a system such as diffusion. So, the famous formula which was created by Einstein, which was called for the random walk diffusion coefficient, can also be created from the time correlation function. So, either you can use a mechanical model of diffusion, or you can also use Green-Kubo model of diffusion. So, if you look at velocity autocorrelation function coming from the famous formulation by Green-Kubo, the two scientists who came up with the velocity autocorrelation and connected that with the diffusion constant. So, if you look at here, d0 is 1/3 of V0 Vt, the time average integrated over from time t dash 0 to t dash infinite, and that belongs to what we call Green-Kubo relationship, and that gives you a good idea of diffusion constant for any material using the Green-Kubo formulation and with a velocity autocorrelation function. So, if you look at the property calculation in MD using time average is very common, and that is where VACF velocity autocorrelation function becomes very important, because we can now differentiate between liquid or gas where there is a weak molecular interaction, and we are also looking at solid where is strong molecular interaction, because as compared to the velocities. So, if you look at what happens, the magnitude of nuclear and molecular interactions in the liquids, magnitude reduces gradually under the influence of weak forces. So, it starts with a correlation, but it expands out. Correlation becomes weaker and weaker, and velocity decorrelates with the time in the liquids. And if you look at, if you plot the velocity autocorrelation function plot, is a simple exponential decay. It's just decaying over a period of time, and it's becoming less correlated from the beginning of the liquid, which we have seen in many of our VMDL simulations. But in case of the solid, it's a different situation, because particles are holding at their crystal lattices, and in this case atomic motion is an oscillation around the central part and vibrating backwards and forward, reversing their velocities at the end of each oscillation. That is where what you are looking at, the velocity correlation going positive and negative, and it is oscillating around a particular correlation function. So, velocity autocorrelation corresponds to a function that oscillates strongly from the positive to negative values and back again, and the oscillation decays over the time. So, you are looking at damping of the correlation function. However, the correlation does exist, and that is where this leads to function resembling what we call as damped harmonic oscillation. So, we are looking at the simple harmonic motions, and if you look at the velocity in that simple harmonic motion, we are really setting up now a situation where velocity autocorrelation will connect with the diffusion through what we call as a simple harmonic motion. So, if you look at on this slide here, you are starting with the Ct, which is a correlation function at time t, and this is velocity. So, velocity is 0 and at any time t. So, you have there is a time average of that, and as you see in this this slide, typical behavior is highly correlated, it becomes negatively correlated, then goes to positive. So, this is we are looking at the 0 slope, and that is where the soft potential at 0 slope you get what we call as a diffusion coefficient, but the slope increases and then it is going to oscillate around the central part, and that is where we are looking at a very well defined velocity autocorrelation function. And this leads to different kinds of transport properties which we are going to look now. Thank you.